All right, we're rolling.
Incredible. I am here with Lachlan Patterson. I'm here with Murray Valeriano. Welcome to Surf Report. I can't believe how this worked out.
Yeah.
I've got two tall surfers with full heads of hair in my studio right now. Or Bill Burr's studio, but it feels like mine for the hour.
It's yours on the sign, so
yeah,
for the hour, it's you.
Yeah.
We're grateful to be here on the east side.
I actually did a soft cancel on Murray this week. I don't know if you realize it. You invited me surfing last week.
Yeah.
And since it was a week away, I very enthusiastically said, yes, I'll drive to the west side on a weekday. Probably early in the morning, and then when it rolled around, I just didn't. I didn't contact you, and you forgot.
Yeah, I didn't even know we had a date. I thought it was like after a certain date we'll hook up and I'll take you out. Or...
I immediately, if we go through the text messages, I think we came up with a date and a time.
Okay.
And I'm like good about this stuff. I'll put it on the calendar on my phone, and I'll put it on the physical calendar.
So you're good to there.
Yeah.
It's the
What
follow through.
Hold on, I gotta stop and explain. Murray, it's like his first day on Earth.
Yeah,
it's his first day in a studio. He just told me he's been podcasting since 2008.
I heard that.
And now he's got the limpest mic.
I might have had the word podcasting wrong.
Yeah, okay.
No,
I think you got to flip it around.
well, no,
I think you broke it.
Did I break it?
I think you flipped it upside down. I think you're going to be okay.
Check it out, Murray. Just look at this one.
I was trying to mimic that.
There you go. You're going to turn it around the other way, maybe. Try the other. There you go. There you go.
There, that's it.
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
Well, no, because your guys is coming up. I feel like it's blocking.
God.
Oh, there.
Oh, you had it.
That's what I want, right?
Okay, all right.
No. Okay. I wish Aaron would have taken care of this.
Welcome.
There we are.
Welcome back to Surf Report. We are not a technical.
Are these cans? Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Okay, I got it now.
Murray's coffee's laced with fentanyl.
Did you go surfing yesterday?
I went surfing yesterday.
I was supposed to go with you. What time? I texted you. I'm like, do you go super early? And you just laughed. You text laughed. You said,
I did?
Ha.
No, I'm not early. Unless I got to get my kid to school, I don't go early. I usually hit around 8 a.m., 9 a.m.
Okay, so that's early, in my opinion.
Yeah, okay, that's
Yeah,
fine.
right.
But not early for, sometimes Dawn Patrol will get you up at 5:30.
Oh, yeah.
Which...
And do you go early too?
Yeah, the wind starts to pick up wherever you are later. It's good for like kiteboarding later on. But usually, if you're a surfer, if that's your goal is a surfboard, you probably want to get there when there's less texture on the ocean.
Right.
So before the wind picks up, probably like for me 9 a.m.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is definitely early, especially for a comedian.
Dude,
but you got to do it at that time. You can't do it at like noon, right? It's too
most
hot.
often, no, yeah.
There's too much sun.
Too much
or,
wind by noon.
Right.
Yeah, it gets harder later in the day, and then the wind starts to die again, and you get that sundown, which is the best when you see the sunset and you're in the ocean.
Yeah.
It's called a glass off.
It's beautiful.
The wind dies down, it gets glassy. It happens mostly in the summer, though, right?
Yeah, you
Or
want to
maybe
get
up
that.
by you.
The longer the day, the more helpful it is. Gives the wind more time to die.
You just talked me back into it. Next week, next Wednesday,
All right,
Big
text
Wednesday.
me. Text
next
me.
Wednesday,
Big
is
Wednesday.
Big Wednesday. All right, I'm gonna be there early. I'm driving on a 10. That's my Big Wednesday.
He's calling it.
Do you guys get? You guys are. How long have you been surfing?
I love that this is going to be. All right, let's do it. Let's talk
Let's do
about
a surf
surfing.
podcast.
Let's do it.
By the way, let's pitch it to All Things Comedy. We'll do the surf podcast.
I don't see why we
wait,
wouldn't.
Lachlan had one.
I had
a great one.
the Kooks of Comedy. We ran for. I think we got 200 episodes
That's
before
awesome.
we got Flat Tire.
That's pretty good. I mean, and like something specific like that, but surfers just listen to fucking Led Zeppelin anyways, right? Do they?
Sure,
even,
man.
They listen
Or am I
to
dating
watch
myself?
UFC.
I accidentally got Thriller in my head as I was paddling into a wave. I got high and went surfing, and as I was paddling, it went da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. And right as I turned to steer into the wave, that gang it went off in my head.
Yeah.
And I just purled right over and I started laughing because I couldn't get that song out of my head. But
it'd be so great if like all of a sudden you got up and then all these other zombie surfers are coming out, and then Vincent Price starts narrating.
I'll do that next time we surf.
Was well upon him.
Next time we surf, I'll do that music behind you.
But
how many years you got under your belt?
oh, dude, I started way late. I started at 30. I did a gig at in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And that was how I started.
Yeah.
But I started late in my 30s.
That's pretty awesome. But then you lived at the beach anyway, so you were like, "Fuck it," right?
There were literally boards in the house that
Right.
the house we were living in had boards in the garage that were not being used. So as soon as we came home, me and my lady both learned on the same day.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, we were both of the equal development.
That's pretty great.
And so we just, I think I borrowed a wetsuit from a friend that had like one
tall
sleeve.
friend?
Yeah, super tall, super tall. And his sleeve was missing. It was horrible.
Yeah.
But that's how I started. And slowly I figured out, where I belonged and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And
That's what I was going to ask. Is there like territory when you show up? Locals only? Find your own waves?
I think, and you might find, I think the whole locals vibe in Los Angeles is really dwindled because I surf a place called Topanga, which when I started, which is about 20 years ago, I would see a fight there every day.
Yeah.
Just a fight there every day. And now it's like everybody's old.
Yeah,
all those guys
right.
are old. I remember
Right.
some dude was 5 and me and wanted to fight me like last summer, 2 summers ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'll fight you. But here's my question. When we go to jail, whose kid's picking us up? Because my kid doesn't drive yet. Like,
Right.
what you're,
Did you say that?
Yeah. He's
Did
like, oh, fuck you. I'll go to jail. I've been to jail before.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, okay, old man.
Right.
What are you doing?
Yeah. But you definitely don't want to fight somebody that says that, whether he's lying or not.
Right. Oh, sure. And listen, where Lachlan and I used to surf, and where Lachlan used to live is pretty hard. It used to be hardcore. A lot of jail time.
Yeah.
Those surfers. A lot
Right.
of
Pier.
tattoos.
Face
on their
tattoos,
face.
yeah.
Yeah. A lot of that stuff. But
Breakwater
again, they're all
and
kind
pier.
of dying out, I think.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And so are kids not?
Picking up the vibe?
Is it just like, is this the last generation of surfers? You say everybody's old now.
No, I'm just saying. Hopefully, it's the last generation of pointless localism.
Sure, yeah.
Like I'll give you. Take all the localism you want in Hawaii, because the
Sure.
white man has fucked Hawaii over consistently.
Right.
So I got vibed in Hawaii one time, almost got my ass kicked.
Mm-hmm.
Well deserved.
Sure.
But I think the localism around here is dying out.
I wanted to say the white man has also fucked everything up here. And so that to me is,
We forget about that.
yeah.
I like how we're talking about the white men when you couldn't have 3 whiter men.
I'm always very understanding that Hawaii or otherwise, that we are all visitors and guests in this ocean,
Right.
and let's act accordingly.
Sure. Yeah.
To say, I get that localism all the time too. When I was at Breakwater, guys who are blonde will tell me that they're from here and I'm not, and I have to be like, all right, what tribe? You know, like where are you from, dude? You're maybe 1, maybe 2 generations of local, but that doesn't afford you ownership of that break.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only Native Americans, Native Hawaiians, Native indigenous people of that land, those are the only ones that can claim localism in my mind, I think.
Sure.
And you just shut your mouth. And
Right.
I know it's hard to get waves. I know there's not a lot of waves, but
What? That's his comeback. You were like, whose kid's gonna pick us up from jail?
Yeah.
He's like, hey man,
Well,
what if he gave that whole speech in the parking lot?
the best,
on the
best
beach?
local argument I heard going off of what Lachlan said was somebody, and I think it must have been Topanga. And it was one of those where I can't remember if I was there or if somebody told me this story. So I'll preface with that. But somebody's like, get the fuck off this wave, man. I've been surfing here for 20. I've been surfing here for 20. I was born in Topanga.
Yeah.
I was born here. And somebody goes, I'm 3/4 Chumash.
I love it.
Which is the local Indian. And everybody's like, all right, you win.
It's your waves, bro.
You win.
yeah.
These waves are mine.
The only time I ever had a real problem with it was when in Hawaii, and I had never surfed Hawaii before, and Hawaii has a surfing style where when you paddle into a wave and it's going left, you will go left and stay with the break. In Hawaii, they go right and then turn and
Right.
come back around, and I'd never
Gotcha.
seen that before.
Yeah.
So I dropped in on a dude, on a local, which is the cardinal sin of all surfing.
Of course.
So I kick out, I come back out, I paddle out. This is how vain I am. He's like, you from California? I'm like, here we go with the paparazzi. Like, oh, he saw me at the Irvine Improv doing that 10-minute set 8 months ago. Here we go. Like, yeah. He goes, yeah, we don't surf like that around here. I'll kick your ass if you ever fucking drop in on me.
Nice.
And like 4 other guys like paddled up to me.
Right.
And I was like, whoa, man, I'm late. Like, dude, I'm sorry. I know what's up. I didn't mean to. I didn't know what you're doing. So then,
how'd they take that? How'd they take the apology?
I just like, it won't ever happen again. He's like, you better not. You're gonna get punched out if it happens again. So
will you guys drag me to shore if you punch me out?
I know. Just like you out there to drown.
Do you want me to drown, or you just want to punch me? I want to know how far this goes.
The best part of this story
death would be bad.
The next day or later on that day, I end up wiping out pretty bad and ended up on the lava rocks and just shredded my arm and my back up.
Yeah.
Just ripped it wide open, bleeding. I still have scars on the back of my arm. Just ripped myself up really bad. And I paddled out 2 days later just with all the road rash, and I see the same 4 guys.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like paddle away from it, like, hey, Howley, which is, I'm like, oh, fuck.
Friend.
Go. Yeah, it's friend.
Like, close friend.
Oh, here we go. I don't want to fucking fight. And he's like, you get that here? And he points at my arm. I'm like, yeah, I got caught on the lava rocks.
Yeah.
He's like, no shit, look at this, 8 stitches. And the other guy's like, yeah, look at this. And then I was friends with him.
You got beaten into the gang.
And I was friends with him for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
I was a skateboarder for a long time, and,
Yeah.
and I'll talk about my surfing and snowboarding history in a second.
Okay.
But skating half pipes is the closest thing you would come to that, because everybody's got to take their turn on it.
Right.
And there was, obviously I skated in Maryland where everyone was from the same area. Mm-hmm. But where you run into trouble was I was one of the younger kids. And like the older kid, I was probably like 15, and then dealing with 20-year-olds, they just hated my guts.
Oh, sure.
And I was pretty good too, so they hated my guts even more. And I remember one time I dropped in just a little too soon after this one guy fell, and he just like a football player, like in the flat bottom, was doing this, got right in my way, and just fucking shouldered me, checked me.
Wow.
Like a football game, dude. I was just like, holy fuck, I was not
off the
expecting
board
that.
while you're coming down.
Oh, dude, I was just, so I drop in, and he's here, and he just checks me, and I just, boom. I got my board, I got back up, and I went up and just kept skating.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know what the fuck to do about that.
I mean, that plywood's hard, man.
The
I used to
dude's
skate.
shoulder was hard. Yeah. I was going, like 20
Fast.
miles an hour?
Yeah, I'm sure. Probably
I don't
more.
know.
Yeah.
He was leaning in.
Oh, fuck yeah, I got it, and I couldn't get around him either.
Oh,
Fucking terrible. You never get a chance to beat up your old bullies. So when you think about stuff like that, you go, God damn, fuck that guy.
Those
but
guys
I can
are-
pretty much guess that guy's a fucking loser.
Yeah.
And brought that to the workplace, that attitude to the workplace.
Yeah.
And is now
then
he's
brought it to the Capitol on January 6th.
There he was. I saw him. I saw him right there.
All your bullies are miserable. Don't worry about it.
No, I know that. Yeah. Right.
I that helps me get through the memories of being of losing to them.
Yeah.
That I know they're
I just picture you've been 6'4" your whole life.
Yeah.
How did you get?
That doesn't mean he's not a
6'4"?
target. Doesn't mean you're not a target, right?
No, I mean, a bully would literally in gym class just pull down your pants right behind you. It doesn't matter who you are, they got
that's
you.
true, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I remember my dad's friend was my coach or my PE teacher, and my dad were friends. And this guy pulled my pants down. I didn't have underwear.
Yeah.
Because I was a kid. You don't.
Sure.
You don't remember. You don't think. You don't understand why people wear underwear until someone pulls down your sweatpants.
That's the whole purpose of underwear is gym class?
It's one of them.
Okay.
Top 2. The other is so you don't zip up your penis.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
that's big.
Yeah.
That happened to me in pajama sleepers when I was a kid. Fucking nightmare. Thanksgiving.
Oh.
And like in front of like all the relatives, I had to come to the bathroom and be like, my dick's in my zipper.
No way.
Can anyone help me with
God,
this?
are you serious, dude?
Yeah, no, I'm serious.
How did it get
I
it
would
out?
not make this up. Just like my mom just had the skills where she was just like, did it nice and slow.
Oh, my
There's
God.
nothing you can do.
Dude, I grew up in the 80s, button flies.
Is that right?
Button flies.
Button
didn't-
fly pajama? Pajama sleepers?
Button fly everything. This guy.
Button fly jeans,
button
man.
fly.
Those were the 501s.
Button fly
The
wallets.
501s, yes,
Yeah.
they were.
I was so excited to get 501s, and then I was just so frustrated with the button fly.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
They
even
were like
after
a
the
da- da-
zipper
da- da,
incident.
when you can just rip them off.
Yeah, I never, because I like to keep the top button buttoned
Okay.
and sneak out like a garden snake.
Yeah.
You were telling us before the show started that you don't have to touch your dick
Yeah, he did.
when you take a
Wait,
piss.
hold on.
You did.
We're
didn't
gonna
You
you?
said I don't have to touch my dick anymore.
I'm not going to pull anything out. You're going to
There's a reason
poke
I didn't
something
say it
out.
on mic. I didn't
Right.
think we were all going to be held responsible for what we said in the lobby while we
Oh,
waited
I
for
can-
Lachlan to get here.
I'm co-
Well, listen, you can veto anything on this.
Okay, I think
it's exciting
Yes.
that you can do a full bathroom transaction without washing your hands because you didn't touch anything.
I don't like to brag.
Yeah,
But I do have a prehensile penis.
when the tape isn't rolling, you like to brag.
He's got a fountain penis.
It's like an elephant.
Yeah.
Just about the,
So my two experiences. One was surfing. I
Mm-hmm.
went in 99. I went to visit my friend in Venice, and I just borrowed a surfboard too. That had I don't know if this is normal, but tons of wax on it,
Mm-hmm.
like chunks of wax on it.
Yeah.
And and the best part was it was during a storm. There's never storms in LA, but
Right.
listen, all I've seen is fucking Point Break and Big Wednesday. That's all I
Sure.
know about surfing. So I'm like, storms are good. And we were walking through the thick of the Venice boardwalk, and we're carrying our surfboards, and I heard people saying "Oh my God, look, it's real California surfers," and we're like, we're not though, we're just not. And I got this big wave, and I got on it, and I just kind of went straight down
Yeah, that's
the wave,
That's the first direction you
and
go.
then I just hit the fucking sand, and my foot just scraped against the wax and cut my toe wide open.
Mm-hmm.
That's my surfing experience. My snowboarding experience, I only went once, was I borrowed someone's board, and it wasn't even their board. They lent it to me, even though it was their friends. And I'm snowboarding for 3 hours straight. I'm doing all right. And then I go to get a funnel cake at the lodge or whatever. And I saw that nobody locked up their boards. So I'm like, I guess we don't lock up our boards. Stole my fucking snowboard.
No way.
And it was it was a trip from my college. So I was just stuck there for 3-4 hours with no snowboard.
Oh, waiting for
that's
everyone
just
to finish.
no cell phone, so
Sure.
I couldn't start the whole hey, your fucking snowboard got stolen. I couldn't start that conversation. I just had to deal with that in my head. So I've just stuck to skateboarding.
Never got
Those
your
are my
board-
two.
never got your
Those are my two experiences.
My skateboard got stolen
All right, so that's why you don't skateboard.
3 years ago. But it was one of those where I skated so often, I didn't notice it was stolen for a year.
That's
so
the
I
thing.
don't really. I have a 12-year-old, and so I used to, when he first started walking, I put him on. I had a longboard, so I put him on the nose of the longboard and would skate through the. So now he can surf, and he's pretty good at that. But my last experience with skateboarding was his elementary school was 2 blocks away, so I'd walk him to school in the morning, and then after school I would carry his bike, his helmet. I'd put on a helmet, sunglasses, and I would skate to pick up keys, skate to pick him up, drop him off, and we'd go home together. It was
That's
2
cool.
blocks away.
That's fun.
One day at the intersection, it was the first day of school, and I was going to pick him up, and there was a groove in the intersection of the skateboard. I'm like, all right, I've done this before. How do I get over this? Oh, I'll just lift my weight off and go over it. Lift my weight off. The wheels lock. I go flying into the middle of the intersection, bicycle, 2 helmets, sunglasses, keys, just a total yard sale in the middle of this fucking, with all the parents I'm bleeding down I reopened my Hawaii cuts, just bleeding down the side of my face.
I faced that humiliation, and that was part of my end
Did
of
you
my
face that
skateboarding,
humiliation
too.
every day for all of 2nd grade when I had to pick up
No.
my kid and all the kids were laughing at me?
No, you beat me, but that was still my last moment of skateboarding because I was only embarrassed in front of myself.
Okay.
I went to just ollie off a curb, and it just didn't go well, and I just slammed so fucking hard. Ollieing off a curb used to be the easiest thing in the world for me.
You didn't even have to ollie off
just
the curb.
as easy as
you just went
exactly.
off,
And
right?
it kind of went sideways. I used to be able to keep it straight and get some height, raise the back foot, point it a little bit, maybe even tweak it a little bit, turn it back. Those days are over. I've got to put the time in.
You're not skating anymore then.
That's what it is.
Because you were a good skater, if I remember correctly.
I was really good.
Yeah.
And it just got to the point where on this subject, it was I would skate once a week, once a month, and you just suck. And you're like, what do I want to do? Do I want to put in all this time to get good at skateboarding? And then you realize that you're just slamming all the time.
And you're 48.
And then you realize what fucking age you are.
Yeah.
So I went pretty hard until I was about 24, 25, and then I had a day job and the stand-up comedy at night. It was just kind of over. But then when I was unemployed about 20 years ago, I got back into it a little bit. And around 30, when I was turning 30, I still had some skills. But that's really where it drops off.
Yeah.
With the skateboarding.
Yeah, we started going back to parks, me and some friends, the Cove over in Santa Monica, and then two of my friends busted their shoulders.
Yeah.
And then one guy ripped his hamstring off his thigh bone, or however that's structured down there.
On,
no, thank you.
And was out of, he's a really good surfer, out of the water for a year.
No, thank you.
And we all just like, done, no more.
You really feel that concrete. Like, you always felt it, but when you feel it as a 12-year-old, you just gotta shake it off.
Yeah, yeah.
I ate it last month.
Skateboarding?
Yeah, a friend of mine built a skate ramp in his warehouse that he owns.
Yeah.
This is Ventura. You could,
Yeah, sure.
You could just have a warehouse.
It's $12. Yeah.
And so he built a skate ramp assembly, and for my birthday, I said I want to go hang out. And so he's got boards and everything, and I was just learning this ramp, and I just had a couple of drinks.
That's it.
Ooh, yeah.
And I tried to go a little higher than normal, and I did one of those ones where the board flies out in front of me.
Yeah.
And so I'm all back.
Oh, yeah.
All going backwards.
Yeah.
Onto my wrist, onto my hip, bang, concrete. And it's my 50th birthday. Just such a moment. And when you get injured, so for the next however many days or months, in my age, months, every time that hurts, you remind yourself of that day. You can't let go of that day until that thing doesn't hurt. So I keep reminding myself of this. Skateboarding has re-brought up this conversation of like, unlike to me, surfing, I know it was tough on your foot.
Yeah.
Most of the falls, it's like falling into a pillow.
Sure. Nesty plunge.
Yeah.
A pillow with another pillow that comes over and suffocates you.
Right. No, that part.
You gotta. Yeah, you could die drowning, of course.
But that's not as bad as like pulling your hamstring. That's not as bad as concrete. Let's face it.
Well,
no.
Yeah, I guess
no
not.
way.
I don't know. It sucks, though.
There are no. You don't see a lot of grandfathers who skate.
No.
No.
But we are seeing guys who are like 60 who are skateboarding now. You got your Tony Hawk,
Yeah.
who's probably about 55 or 57.
Yeah.
And then you got Lance Mountain.
Lance is great.
Skates,
One of my
pools.
favorite
He's got to be
skaters.
about 60 years old.
Yeah, he's older than Tony. And then there was this like a 50-year-old skater in the Olympics this year, apparently.
Yeah, if you see
Andy McDonald.
What's his name?
Andy McDonald.
Andy McDonald,
versus
yeah,
skating.
That was dope. I loved watching him.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's doing the same things. Any of those guys are doing the same things the youth are doing.
No, maybe not, but he's still 10 feet in the air.
And he made it to the Olympics.
And yeah.
Yeah, I love how we're competing for old guys. No. Old guys are still professional athletes.
No, when Andy McDonald, when Tony Hawk shows up, and he's doing tricks like he could never do before, which means nobody could do them before. I just saw the documentary. I think the Duplass brothers did it.
Oh, on Tony Hawk. Yeah, I saw that when it came out. Yeah.
It's really good because it's the first one where like, is there a dark side to Tony Hawk?
Yeah.
They try to like pimp that angle because he's always been like America's sweetheart.
Yeah.
Put him in a milk commercial.
Yeah.
Kind of guy, but there is a certain amount of, I don't want to say self-destruction, but like a lack of care for your body when you're that age and you're just slamming in the flat bottom. And Stacy Peralta, who was always his mentor, is on the camp. It's the first documentary about Tony Hawk that Stacy didn't direct.
Oh, right.
So
Stacey
he's like,
So
he's finally like, yeah, I think he's going to kill himself. And I think Lance Mountain's going to kill himself.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to like, I'm paraphrasing. I don't know if he used these words, but like these guys are going hard. And he kind of said there needs to be an intervention with these guys because they're just going so hard that they're knocking themselves out.
Wow.
Like an old punch drunk boxer.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
But they're also like, you look at somebody like Tony Hawk, he's still getting a lot of like, I would say money out of it. He's still getting a lot of everything out of it.
Well, he's got a successful company. He's got that tie-in with esports or whatever the thing is.
But he's still relevant.
Oh, because he's probably the greatest skater.
Right.
Some people argue Jay Adams. That's going deep into the skate world.
Sure.
But he's He's the Eddie Van Halen of skateboarding.
He's the Eddie Van Halen of skateboarding.
He could monetize it. He was good. He was doing things that nobody else was doing. That part where I forget what movie he was going for during like the first X Games.
Yeah.
Was it the 940?
900.
900. And they kept rolling because he wasn't nailing it. And
Yeah.
so they actually extended the broadcast until he nailed the first 900. And it took him 20 tries, maybe?
Yeah. It took a lot
pretty
of
cool to watch.
And that's just that day.
Yeah.
He had never made it before.
Yeah.
Segueing, how many tries will you give a joke before you give up? Would you go 20?
One try.
One.
It depends on the try. If the try is like humiliating and there's like a drastic response, like, oh, fuck that, or something like that.
Yeah.
But honestly, and I don't give it enough tries, I'll give something like 3 tries out the gate. It goes back into the computer and it comes back around the next time I'm headlining. And it's got another chance.
Because you have more time.
More time, and I've got to do more time.
Right.
And let's see. After they already like me for 20 minutes, will they like this? You know, they probably will like it a lot more. And that's when those jokes really solidify. Is when they get the laugh, honestly, you know. And that's when they get the biggest laugh too, is when you finally nail it. And then it's just such a maintenance to keep it up there.
I had a joke for
Find
like
that life.
15 years that didn't work. And I would just, every once in a while, when I was bombing, for some reason when I bomb, I go to the jokes that don't work.
You might as well.
you don't
want to lose
got nothing else to
confidence in the
lose.
ones that work.
Don't give them their good stuff when you're bombing.
And
They don't deserve it.
And it never worked because I think the punchline was an obscure video game from the 80s called Defender. And
I was laughing.
it was,
I played that game.
It would never work. And then one time I changed it to Donkey Kong 15 years later and it fucking worked.
Yeah.
And I kept it.
Donkey Kong's a great punchline.
It's got
Defender's got no
Double-
percussives.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and it's more relevant.
Percussives.
Or not relevant. People know it more.
Yeah, Donkey Kong is still relevant. People still talk about Donkey Kong. That's because of Mario. Mario kept the franchise going, right?
The Tony Hawk of video games.
Yes, he is. He has had like 28 video games,
Yeah.
Mario.
It's incredible.
Even Luigi has time on that fucking thing. 2 movies, a TV show.
Halloween costumes.
Stick with what's relevant.
Yeah.
Defender. I don't know any movies called Defender.
No.
I had this joke that was kind of nasty, or kind of mean spirited, that they wouldn't take from a young Matt Fulcheron, that they will take from an old Matt Fulcheron. And the idea is something like, I don't even know if I can do the joke if I'm not on stage, but it's something like, I can't even remember it on the spot. But
Paraphrase.
it's something to the effect of, thank God I'm not on stage right now because I can't remember the joke.
Here, let me do my Donkey Kong.
It's something
bit.
like this.
It's all right. I'll just do the whole joke just so I can get through it.
Okay.
My wife's got me in therapy. When in my 20s, I used to try to win arguments. I remember one time I was 26. My girlfriend at the time was 26. We're fighting, yelling at each other. And at one point, she's like, sometimes I think you don't even love me. And I was like, I don't love you. Baby, I love you so much. I'm staying in this relationship even though I can't fucking stand you. Like, they would not take that
Right.
from youngster Matt.
Yeah.
But from middle-aged Matt, they're like, yes, that is love.
I think that's funny, but I think also you got to give credit to yourself for developing the character that is you.
Right.
And so people understand when you're talking who you are more than when you first started and you didn't know who you were.
Yeah.
And so I know a lot of guys like this who they're saying stuff that's true, but people don't know them well enough yet.
Exactly, yeah. But the only reason I say that is because I heard Chris Rock say the same thing, that there were certain jokes they would not take from a young Chris Rock that he tried again later and it would work.
Right.
Or like the same theme, that like darkness.
That makes
They
sense.
wouldn't take the darkness from a young Chris Rock.
Because he hadn't developed his persona enough yet.
I started doing cruise ships a couple of years ago. And I have this whole chunk on kind of like the
Buffet?
Yeah, no, the Diamond Club members, the fancy people.
Yeah.
And I wrote it one day and I did it at the end of it and it fucking killed. And it killed. So on the next cruise, I opened with it and everybody hated me.
Really?
Because they didn't get to know me.
Yeah.
Through the week. It was my first show. I
yeah.
had 4 more. I had done that one on the last night, the first time, and it fucking killed. And then I'm like, oh. I'm being an asshole. Basically, I'm an asshole right now.
Yeah.
They don't know who I am.
I was in Virginia Beach and I happened to tell the other comics. One of them was a veteran. that there was a young woman behind me on the airplane on the way in. And she was like, yeah, I'm in the Army. It's like really tough. We have to do like so much sit-ups. And she had like this Valley Girl delivery. And I thought it was really funny that someone in the military spoke like that.
Right.
I would never do it on stage. I told this veteran about it. He's like, dude, you got to do it. You got to do it. And I'm like, really? He's like, it's not offensive. It's funny. I'm a veteran. And I went up and I did it up front. They just ate so many fucking dicks. It was, I never even recovered it. And I did one of those things where I go, all right, let's get started. You ever do one of those? Like, all right, let's start with the real shit.
Okay, you don't like that.
Yeah, okay, you don't like me.
Yeah. Generally, outside of somebody who doesn't do stand-up saying you got to do that on stage, I'm never doing it on stage.
I did
He's
that
a comic
to you.
too. Though.
I would do.
He's a comic.
It's a comic.
Yeah.
Like if you guys told me, I would do it.
I did it to him, and I regret it. He knows.
Oh,
Bro, I feel so bad.
Is this about the
But
veteran?
this was even worse because
No.
the show was over. All right, and I was hosting for Tom Wilson
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
from Back to the Future.
Everyone knows him as Biff.
Yeah,
Was I on the show with you?
you might have been.
Because I think I featured for him a couple times.
No, this
that-
this was a showcase show with.
Oh,
It was
okay.
at the Hollywood
Okay.
Improv.
Okay.
And so everything's fine. You know, the whole show was hosted. There was no reason for me to do this joke because it was over. I did my job. You know how hard hosting is. You got to
Yeah.
take the bullet. You got to
Yeah.
introduce
Oh, yeah.
everybody. I go to Lachlan. I just did a little sketch for him. I go, hey, this is your cousin Marvin Berry. You know that new joke you're looking for? Well, listen to this. Like a joke out of Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And if everyone knows Tom Wilson, he plays music when he's on stage. He plays a guitar, so it was extra funny because he also was playing music.
But he also, the song was about like, I hate being Biff from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Yes.
He opens with
Yeah,
that.
so he has established that he does not like this level of humor.
We didn't listen to that part.
Lachlan, we were just, you know what we did? We had that post, we had that feeling of when you survived the show, you
Yeah.
had a good set,
Yeah.
you're in a good mood, you
Yeah.
think you're fucking invincible, you think you're hilarious,
Oh, yeah.
you're having a good time. I go up there and I do the joke and it gets nothing. And Tom Wilson I go, two people laugh, whatever. He goes, and Tom Wilson goes, no, that's really funny, man. Why don't you tell it again? So I already made the first rookie mistake.
Yeah.
I went up and tried to get a laugh afterwards with questionable material about the headliner. That's pretty fucking rookie. The second rookie thing I do is I go and tell the joke again because
Biff
I was
bullied
intimidated
him.
by him.
He bullied you.
I wrote this essay about it where it was like, most people talk about how nice Tom Wilson is, but Back to the Future was my favorite movie, but I got to experience Biff.
Yeah.
Where most people don't get to experience Biff. McFly, McFulcheron, hello. So, and I tell the joke, and he fucking jumps angrily through the audience going, ha ha, get it, everybody, get it.
Oh,
they didn't have cell phones in 1955, which isn't the joke. Like,
Right.
it's not the joke at all. Like, I didn't mention cell phone or anything like that. I was trying to recreate the movie. And I was like, okay, everybody see you later.
Matt's still on stage.
Oh man, this is through the Hollywood
This is at the
Improv?
Hollywood
I got,
Improv.
I got
Wow.
my hand over
So-
my face.
So we all go upstairs, and he comes up, and we're chilling with Kevin Shea.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of us, and we're all talking about like, holy shit, did you guys see what we're trying to wrap our heads around it. And then Tom comes up to apologize, and it's like, oh, cool, man, that's great, totally cool. And then Kevin Shea's like, yeah, because we thought you were really mad, dude. Like starting it back up. And then he like apologizes again, explains himself again. And then Tom's so cool.
He is
He
cool.
hangs out to talk for another 3 minutes just so there's no bad blood. And then Kevin Shea goes, yeah, because we thought you were really mad. He just keeps stoking this poor guy. He just keeps bringing out the Biff.
Oh yeah.
He just keeps bringing out the Biff out of Tom Wilson. And then I go to the bar later. This is like an hour or so later. And someone's bitching about another comedian. I'm talking to these two comedians, and they're bitching about another comedian. And the comedian goes, yeah, man, maybe I just don't, maybe I don't trust comedians that play guitar. And I look over the guy's shoulder, and Tom Wilson is looking at me like, you got more beef, bro? Are
Whoa.
you talking about me? He thinks I'm talking about him.
Right.
But I'm not talking about anybody. I'm not talking about anybody playing guitar. It was Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was talking about somebody playing guitar.
Right.
Had nothing to do with Tom Wilson.
But he didn't hear
But
that
it
part.
sounds like I'm talking shit about Tom Wilson. Bum 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 ba-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Totally did.
Ah, you're
Totally.
beefing with the nicest guy in comedy.
I know. Aaron, can we go to Eric Wendell ahead of Craig? We gotta get Wendell on the
Yeah.
before he has to go to work.
Sure.
We're going to do a movie review. I just turned 50, by the way,
Happy birthday,
a
sir.
week ago.
A week ago,
And
a
I
month
feel
ago.
a week ago.
Not even a month. We're close.
1 week. Oh, you a month. You
I'm
a month
50
ago.
July
Yeah.
22nd.
Yeah.
I turned 50 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
My birthday's tomorrow. I
All
turned
right.
54.
Congrats, buddy.
Speaking of time going by, your son's name finally makes sense. I haven't seen your son since he was a baby.
Right.
And I just saw him now, and I was like, it was like hard to call a baby Frank.
Right.
But now he's Frank.
Yeah, now he's
you
Frank.
had vision, you had foresight. You're much smarter than me.
I used to do a joke about that.
Yeah,
a baby
right,
named
yeah.
Frank.
He's much more frank.
Yeah,
he's
totally.
He definitely grew into his frankness.
Mhm. So you had faith. You knew what you were doing.
He's 12. He's got a stash now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, he's
Yeah.
a frank.
yeah, he's totally a Frank.
Did he grow the stash, or did his name create?
Mm.
You know what I mean? Did Frank? Is he just becoming Frank?
Like kind of like if you name your daughter like Savannah,
yeah.
she's going to be a stripper.
Yeah,
If you name your son Frank, he's going to have a mustache and run a numbers game.
yeah.
Yeah, but he's more of a surfer beach guy. This Frank.
Yeah. He's been picking up the surf.
It's more of a peach fuzz. It's an ironic peach fuzz.
It is, but he wants to grow it out and do a handlebar. He's really going
Well,
for the handlebar.
all right,
so
good.
We'll see what happens.
Hair's fun.
It's so much fun when you can grow it. I remember I started a goatee club in my high school.
Oh yeah,
The second I could grow it, and it was fun because everyone was growing shitty ass facial hair,
Dude,
with patches in it and stuff.
I still can't grow a full beard. Like I can grow here, and then there's nothing like up to here.
Yeah, it's always so funny when the patches come in.
Yeah.
It's funny that like the time you actually have to shave is when you can't really grow a beard. That's when you actually have to shave.
Yeah.
If you grow a beard, it doesn't look that weird.
Remember when comedy beards
Yes.
were the thing?
Yeah.
Like I think, objectively, I suppose Kyle Kinane started it.
It goes like it just goes back and forth between groups. Like it was kind of an ironic thing from the it was like, oh, burly guys wear beards, so
Yeah.
we're gonna be a bunch of pussies and have beards.
But I always,
And then the burly guys took it back, like, no, we're gonna storm the Capitol with beards.
but I always like the young comics who couldn't grow them, but they tried so desperately to grow them.
They're like, I'll just grow my beer gut instead.
Yeah.
I'll just embrace the lifestyle.
Write some jokes. Don't grow a beard.
Yeah, write some jokes. That is the hardest part when you're starting out is writing. You're like, oh, I better write some jokes.
What do you mean when you're starting out? I still have
It's
a hard
still
time.
hard, but at least you know if you're serious about it, and you might get out of the routine. But if you really want to write some jokes, you have to work on them every day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
at
bet
least you
Lachlan
know-
does that.
What?
You probably work on it every day, right?
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
too, and it's
It
just
doesn't
as hard.
help. I don't feel like I'm ahead, but I do try. It's just easier to write a little every day than to write once a week.
And it gives you more confidence, and it gives you less panic when you have a show coming up, and you're like, well, I better throw together 5 new minutes. You can go through last month's work and be like, I can make this work. I can bullshit
Right.
this. I
Yeah.
can do that. And then you try it 3 times and you throw it in the fucking trash. Or you wait another 20 years till it makes sense.
It doesn't get funnier. Like, I don't know why. No matter how much I write, I still produce the same amount of laughter as when I wrote less or when I write
Yeah.
a lot. It doesn't.
The thing is, when you first start, it's just so sporadic.
Yeah.
And you spend more physical time waiting at the open mic, working the day job. You don't know how to do it efficiently. You
That's
don't
true.
understand that you have to do it earlier in the day or else you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
You don't understand like all these things that are working against you.
Yeah.
Luckily at the time when you're first starting out, you're only doing 5 minutes tops.
Yeah.
You also don't have your radar isn't as sharp to. For me, I'm an observational comic. To life, I look at things and I try to look through them for a questioning perspective. And the more I do it, I can actually question and go, oh, I could see how that could be structured into a joke.
Yeah.
As opposed to just, hey, that's funny, and then walking away and having no idea how to explain it to anyone.
The worst is Mitch Hedberg had a joke about writing jokes where he's like,
That's a good
the
one.
worst part is I got to write it down.
Yeah.
Or if I'm too far away from a pen, I convince myself it wasn't funny.
That's right.
Have you ever done that? Have you ever convinced yourself it wouldn't work instead of writing it down?
Specifically lying in bed.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Like late at night, you're like, am I really going to grab the phone
Yeah.
and risk getting caught in like, because I'll email myself.
Yep. That bright light.
That's the bright light. That's not what you do. I just remember what you do, and I've done it sometimes. You go to notes on your iPhone, and then you email that to yourself. That'll get away from like getting down the rabbit hole of your phone. But you also like, you know, if you're sleeping next to your wife, you don't want to wake her up.
Yeah.
You don't want to like.
I'm still pen
what
and
are you
paper
doing?
guy.
What's that?
I'm still pen and paper guy.
As you should be.
With a notebook.
As
Notebook
you
by the
should
bed.
Look at me. I got this right here.
Yeah, and I have old notebooks piled up.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly scribbling. Like I can't do it on the phone. I
have a bunch of notebooks. I hope I don't die this week because I don't want anyone to find them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one. I left mine at the Hollywood Improv one time, and I was mortified.
Because people go through it.
Yeah.
People are animals, dude.
Oh yeah, and then half that shit is psychotic
It's
to nobody
psychotic.
reading it. Like, why does this guy want
Because
to?
you have to write down everything.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, and you know you're going to make it more palatable.
Dude,
but we got to
stayed.
put down the original idea.
Yeah.
Which I'm not even going to give you an example because there are horrible ideas bouncing around in everyone's head. Especially mine.
fucking tore the Improv up looking for that, and I never. And I know probably Orny probably took it.
Yeah,
and it's
right.
Like joking and making fun of it right now, but
Just keeping
it
it.
was just brutal. So I never. Did
I
it.
throw it in the trash and get paranoid that like homeless people are going to look at it.
I keep them unless I lose them. There's a stack.
Where are they?
They're all in my office, and sometimes I take an old one with me on the road. Just take an old one. Maybe there's something in here that I could. I have so many recordings of me bombing.
Yeah.
From when we were record.
Oh, yeah.
Especially early on when we had to make tapes and
Oh,
send
yeah.
them out.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go get rid of all those because I'll still they'll still show up in my iTunes, or I was looking for a clip the other day and I found an old one, and like because when somebody dies and they're like, oh, remember when, and then they'll show a clip. I don't want them to pick one of me bombing.
I'm with you, and I always say I'm going to clean up my internet, but do you like 2 or 3 days of cleaning up the internet? You're like, whew, I'll get back to this later,
Yeah,
and then
it's
it just
exhausting.
restacks back up.
Yeah.
Like the we really are leaving history for our ancestors.
Yeah.
Funny part is, they might not care.
Yeah.
They might not care. Like, they might not care about like how fucking much you bombed.
Yeah.
They really might not be interested in your stand-up at all. There'll be one person who is, and they'll be like, oh, I'm gonna check out my fucking Uncle Murray.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, they'll be like, God damn,
Why
had
was he
had
my
a rough
favorite uncle?
life. His job alone was horrific. That's what he posted?
I know.
That stuff used to be in a box. It was a VHS tapes in a box in your attic.
Yeah.
And now it's on
Now
the
it's
internet.
just living.
Yeah, now it's forever.
There he is.
Forever.
Eric Wendell, how are you, buddy? I got Lachlan Patterson with me. I got Murray Valeriano with me. What's happening, dude?
What's happening, y'all? How you guys doing?
Good. You
Doing good, man.
You working today?
That's right, buddy. Gotta leave in about 15 minutes here.
All right,
Head
man.
to Coffee Bean or Starbucks, whichever.
All right,
Give me
well,
a drink and head to work.
I hope to get you out in coffee bean time. Eric doesn't like Starbucks anymore.
Me neither.
He's a coffee bean guy now.
I'm a Starbucks guy.
All right, the war continues.
Neither.
You know, Starbucks has a couple drinks that I like the chocolate cream cobra is really good, but they've just done too many things over the last few years to piss me off.
Like,
Piss me
do you
off.
mind if I ask? I don't want to hijack this segment.
No,
What
please.
pissed you off at Starbucks?
Let's make him late for work.
They took away my eggnog lattes over the holidays. Those were one of my favorites. They stopped doing. They used to have a cup you could buy over the holidays where in all of January you would get free coffee or free mochas or whatever if you paid like, I don't know, it was like $60 or $70 for the cup, right? But
Yeah.
you made it worth it in January.
Because you're
I
drinking
mean, during
mudslides
COVID,
all
they had
winter.
weird hours. I guess that's not their
Chocolate.
fault. They would close. I would go to 6 different locations. They'd all be closed when they were supposed to be open. It's just all these little things added up and just got to be annoying. And the powders are better at Coffee Bean anyway.
So this just so
powder.
you guys that might not know, Wendell likes like really sweet coffee. A lot of times really thick coffee.
He's into the powders.
Yeah, but also powders, but also like milk. Like he likes
Right.
eggnog.
You like to celebrate. When
Well, no,
you
I
get
get
coffee.
lattes.
He likes ice
espresso
cream.
drinks.
You like to have a little treat.
He likes milkshakes.
I don't-
Is the running
Well, no.
joke here?
Yeah, I mean, those are good too, those Frappuccino type drinks and whatnot. But I'll get like a quad shot hazelnut latte or
I see you
you know
guys.
what I mean, something like that.
Sounds healthy when you say it. Quad shot.
Quad shot.
It's not healthy.
Sounds like an exercise.
3 sets of quads.
You know,
Is
I
it
was
mocha
thinking about
day
yesterday
at the gym?
and I don't know how easy it's going to be for me to do, but I'm going to try and do like cold brews, which have less calories than me getting these quad shot lattes that have way more calories. It's going to be hard to switch, but I'm going to try at least.
Good for you, buddy. You just need to put in a week, and your taste buds will adapt.
How much is a quad shot latte? Is that like $16?
No,
Quad shot.
it's about $7.50 at Coffee Bean
All right.
for a large.
5 at Starbucks.
Oh shit.
Murray with the info. Murray works for
Nah.
Starbucks, and they're
Not the drink I get at
Not
Starbucks.
the
I would
drink I
get like a
get.
peppermint mocha.
Oh, yeah.
or
Oh,
a
you
black and white and an extra shot. Yeah,
Put donuts in
be
it.
about $8.
Just floating around.
Yeah.
celebrate
Crumble up some
celebrate
donuts.
every day.
Trying to stay lean. That's why I got 4 shots of espresso.
Live every day like
Dude, they
it's
got
your,
shit
like it's
on
your
their
birthday.
secret menu at Starbucks that'll cost you about $20 if you fucking. They put like pieces of cake from the fucking thing over here and there.
Live every day like it's your last
Fucking
trip to
creamers and all
work.
this shit.
Every once in a while, I'll bring my kid to Starbucks, and he'll order basically a birthday cake in a cup.
Yeah.
You drink it, and
me get
your
a-
jaw tingles because it's so sugary.
Let me get a double cheeseburger in there.
Yeah.
I see these people at the airport at like 5 a.m. in the Starbucks lineup getting whipped cream. Like, is it your birthday?
That's the one time I won't drink. I'm totally addicted to coffee.
Right.
When I'm at the airport, I'm like, fuck it, I want to sleep on this plane.
Yeah.
But the line is like all the way around the terminal, man.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
you can't get coffee in the airport.
What do you want to sit in your middle seat all jacked up with your ass hurting?
Yeah, no, it's too hard.
That's the one thing I'll skip is the whipped cream. There's enough calories in my fucking drink. You don't need to put any whipped cream.
That's
on my
where you
fucking
draw
drink,
the
okay?
line.
BYOWC. All right, Wendell. What we reviewed Sugar. What movie are we reviewing?
That's a cool show, man. That's a cool show. I'm looking forward to the second season.
What, Sugar? Oh yeah.
Oh, you're talking about. Oh, see, you got me fucked up right there. You're talking about the actual fucking sugar cane and shit, and I'm talking about the show.
You like
know.
sugar.
Corn
Sorry.
syrup, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But I like Sugar as well. The movie, the
right.
show.
No, I finally got the chance to see Deadpool, the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. I don't know if you've seen it yet. I won't give away any spoilers because it's still pretty new. I mean, it was awesome. Like, all the Deadpool movies are awesome, in my opinion. Ryan Reynolds doesn't fuck around. He gets good writers. He pays the extra money to have a good crew and good writing, and he doesn't slouch on shit. He doesn't just throw something together real quick to try and make a quick buck or whatever. And it shows. Like, there's so many crazy Easter eggs and fucking spoiler type things in this movie. I can't really even talk about much of it because
The whole movie is Easter eggs,
it'll
huh?
ruin
And
it for you.
spoilers.
That was Deadpool 1 and 2. There was all Easter eggs. They were so good. It's funny. It's sharp. It's smart.
And help me out here. Easter
Right.
eggs are like a reference to the fans, right? Or like predicting the future, or references to old stuff
All of that.
and
All of
movies
that,
and
yeah.
Marvel and all that
You'll
stuff.
see, like, there's this one area where they go to. They're trying to become part of the multiverse a little bit or whatever.
Spoiler alert.
He's always been.
Ruined
That's
it.
not really a spoiler, but
Okay.
he's always been his own movie. He hasn't really been related to the Avengers and the Marvel, like X-Men and all that stuff. He hasn't really been related to any of that, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and granted, I'm not a comic person, so I didn't really read any of it. So maybe I missed something, and he was, but
He was,
just
and they
seemed like
killed
a
him.
standalone character, And in this movie, I guess there's this. I don't know how to even describe it. Like this. I don't know how to describe it. Like, there's this like fucking purgatory type place where you can get sent to in the Marvel multiverse
No shit.
if you're not good enough or they don't like you or whatever.
Is
right?
there a Marvel
And that's
heaven, or is that all DC?
part of the story? And there's a bunch of Easter eggs in that fucking purgatory place.
Well, that sounds
and
fun.
you'll see it when you.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Let's pretend for a moment that I don't know what the multiverse is.
Yeah.
That's a good question because
I
I
don't-
also
I
don't know
I
what the
don't-
multiverse
Okay,
is.
good. Because I've never been a big superhero guy, and I don't go to a lot of movies. I have weird hair. I don't know what's happening there.
Well, the multiverse.
You have great hair for a
as it pertains
53-year-old.
to Marvel,
Sorry, I don't.
is
Ed Grimley.
there's a bunch of different universes, right?
Okay.
And in one universe, like Wolverine sucks. He's like a terrible piece of shit. He's not a good guy or whatever. In some other universe, he's like a pussy.
Oh,
fucking
that's
crying at the bar all
convenient.
fucking day.
Yeah, there's another
In our
Murray.
universe,
There's
he's a hero, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the Murray is a dick in the
Can't
fucking
surf.
multiverse.
Okay.
In the other verse. You know?
Doesn't know anything about surfing.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a roller skater.
His dick, he has to hold his dick.
I have to touch my penis.
Yeah, so
at
pull
times.
his dick out with both hands.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you're rollerblading in the other in the multiverse. You're not.
Side
Yeah.
note: the first time I met Lachlan, he was rollerblading. We won't talk about that. Go ahead.
It's a convenient form of transportation.
But that's the gist of it, right? Like there's tons of different universes, supposedly dimensions, or
Okay.
however you want to look at it. You
So
know,
it's
they
all
call it the
within these-
multiverse. Other
it's-
people call it dimensions.
It's all within the superhero world. Then.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a way to qualify all these different productions of the same superhero, like the one with Tobey Maguire. And
There you go.
In that one, he naturally has webs come out of his hand. Yet in the one with this new kid, it's a manufactured thing that he has to make.
Okay.
My favorite was the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man because he could do 360 kickflips on his skateboard. Do you see that? He uses his spider sense for good. There's a 2-minute skateboarding segment in the first Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. You're like, fuck yeah, just do that. Like, why wouldn't you just do that? So your uncle got killed by somebody. You can still fucking
Skate.
like compete in the X Games.
Sure.
You could.
Travel town to town, fight crime. And think about
right.
that. Think about how great it would be to be Spider-Man. Like you could just like fucking swing if you're falling, you're 20 feet over the coping. You could just like save yourself.
Has there never been because there was the Silver Surfer was a super? Has there never been a skateboarding superhero? Where did?
Just
Gone. He had
Did
to.
Wendell
there
leave?
it
No.
is.
Oh no.
just
I
Andrew
don't think
Garfield
there's been a
Spider-Man.
skateboarding superhero.
And he had
like
Emma
kind of Leaning
Stone.
the Cube or something.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
They skate in that?
Oh yeah.
They skated Police Academy
skate in that?
for.
Yeah, very, very, very rarely, but they keep skateboards on the back of their shells, and they rip.
Oh, okay.
Because they have pipes, right? They live
Oh,
in the
shit.
sewers, so they have full pipes, and
Here's
Here's a side note that we're all 50 and over. Go ahead.
Here's some trivia for you. Who, in case you ever ask this in Trivial Pursuit, who did Tony Hawk? Tony Hawk was a stunt double for which actor in Police Academy 4?
Oh, jeez. I don't even think
I know Hightower.
David Spade.
Really?
David Spade. So this, if I ever go up before David Spade, I want to introduce him, I want to go up afterwards
Yeah.
and be like, no, I want to go up before because there's a line in the movie, and I go, you guys like my set? Yeah, I go, that's not skateboarding, and I go, this is skateboarding, and then I'll introduce David Spade, and no one will know what the fuck I'm talking about, but David Spade will be like, yeah.
Say it again.
He'll get it.
I like
He'll
the
get
fact that the tallest skateboarder in the
Yeah,
world
yeah.
is body doubling the shortest comedian in the world.
Yeah.
And Spade's a big skater. Like he's really into skating.
I know.
He's a big skater.
But he's
yeah.
not Tony Hawk.
No. I think he's more of the collection of the skate
Yeah,
craft.
yeah. All right, Wendell, what are you giving this movie?
Dude, it was 5 ice cream trucks all day. It was really great. Wait till you see the different cameos and stuff that he gets in here. Like it's gonna blow you away, and it's really fucking cool what he does.
All right.
What he makes happen in his movie. Let's put
All
it that way.
right.
What he because it's all him. It was probably his idea. I'm sure he was a writer on the movie
Really?
and stuff.
You're just sure about that? You didn't look it up?
I'm not positive about that, but I'm sure he has ideas of where he wants his franchise to go, and he's like, yeah, fucking, let's make this happen. And he's Ryan Reynolds, so he can do that.
Yeah. All right, Wendell. Well, we'll let you get.
One last question.
Okay.
Sorry. Is it appropriate for a 12-year-old with a mustache?
Yes.
Is it appropriate
for a 12-year-old.
12-year-old to have a mustache on his lip?
No, is the movie appropriate for a 12-year-old?
Oh.
I mean, if you're sitting there, there's, it's just like the other Deadpool movies. There's plenty of inappropriate sexual jokes and stuff like that. I don't remember there being any nudity or anything,
Okay.
but there's lots of the under, the sexy the typical jokes
Innuendos?
he has, like the
A lot of
dicks, tits,
innuendos.
whatever,
Okay.
all that shit.
Just make sure you're wearing your shades. Thanks, Wendell.
Yeah.
Hold on. Are you gonna be able to go to Are you gonna be able to go Coffee Bean since you're getting out this early?
Yeah. No, it's 2:30. Yeah. No, I got it. I'm gonna put my shirt on that's behind me over the shoulder there and race out the door, and I should still be over there by the airport by 3-ish, hopefully.
All right, cool. Thanks, Wendell.
So
Nice
it
to see
worked
you
out great, man.
Peace.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Wendell.
Peace
Aaron,
out, fam.
Aaron, do we have time to say hi to Craig, or should we end it? I just want to say hi to him, so I don't leave him hanging.
Yeah, we can try.
We're gonna try some technology. My normal co-host
Craig Coleman. Double C.
could not
Love
make
him.
it out because he's working. So
Where does he work?
he works today. He's working at Union Station,
Oh,
the train station.
yeah.
He's a
They call
site
him
manager, right?
Site rep. You go there, and when people are doing film productions there, he makes sure they don't mess up
Okay.
the historical landmark that is Union Station. So basically, he just gets in arguments with people
Damn.
because they want to fuck the place up.
Sure.
So they have their movie,
Right.
their episode of Shogun or whatever the fuck
Right.
is it big these days.
So do we decide if the movie was okay for my 12-year-old? I didn't.
I would say it's probably not, but I think everybody's got personal
Well, you're a
standards.
parent. What do you think?
It's violence-wise, it's high. It's
Yeah.
high on violence. It's they neither of them can die, Wolverine
Okay.
and Deadpool, and so they're gonna slice and dice each other.
Okay.
There's a lot of violence. I wouldn't take my 12-year-old, but at the same time, save it.
All right. I'll just let him play
Couple
Grand
years.
Theft Auto.
A couple years, you can watch all three of them. Next pandemic.
Yeah. Boy, we let a lot go in the parenting. The rules during the
That must
pandemic.
have been impossible, man.
Oh.
Like, just to keep on the kids that whole time.
It was
24/7?
It was brutal. Yours was really young, so you probably didn't have.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Mine
you
was
needed
like
that time anyway.
Fourth
Yeah.
grade, just fucking going off the fucking rails.
I can only imagine.
And then homeschooling over it when the poor teachers who have no personality for Zoom.
Yeah.
And not that they should.
Zoom's a tough gig.
It is.
We
man.
all tried our
all
hands.
professionals
Yeah,
couldn't
right.
fucking pull it off half
Yeah.
the time. So
Yeah.
these poor teachers were brutal. The kid
Yeah.
was, everybody's grades went down the shitter.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Yeah, that's weird. There's going to be pandemic kids who suffer in one area,
Mm-hmm.
or one. They're not going to have some knowledge of one.
Mm-hmm.
Their math is going to suck. You keep Frank out of the television. Don't let him see the television. He should be studying.
Okay.
Forget Deadpool. He's got to make up for 2020.
Matt's telling you how to raise
2021.
your
I know.
kid.
That's how
I'm telling you what to do.
the 50-year-old skateboarder.
Keep
is telling me.
away from the
Keep him away from the
TV.
TV, man. Keep him on that iPhone. Nothing bad happens on the phone. Nothing.
Did we get Coleman?
I sent him a link.
Okay.
I can only send it to these emails. So
Okay, so I think we might have to scrap it.
Let's give him 30 seconds.
Let's give him 30 seconds. And Aaron, you can pull the plug whenever you want if other people start showing
The
up.
first time I met Craig Coleman,
Yeah.
while we're waiting for him,
Yeah.
he ran a show in Santa Monica.
Yes.
I don't know if you were around for this. You might not have come down here
No.
yet.
99?
He ran a show in Santa Monica in a basement, by the 3rd Street Promenade.
Right.
It was great.
It was
him and
off-
some
off
other dude.
Wilshire. It was
Him and
off
some other
Wilshire
dude. I don't
Theater.
remember that dude's name. And he brought me up. This is how long ago it was. He brought me up to a White Stripes song.
Right.
And I was like, my first 5 minutes, it was asking him about who that was. What? Who is that? That song's fucking great. He's like, it's a White. What album is that?
You only had 3 minutes
I had
left.
3 minutes left, did my closer and left. And
Yeah.
then I was a big White Stripes fan.
I
ever
remember they
since.
played cool music at that gig.
Yeah.
White Stripes, The Strokes, which is weird because I was later in a band with Craig Coleman, and
Oh.
he didn't like either of those bands.
He's a hardcore.
He might have liked the White Stripes. He hated the Strokes.
He liked the White Stripes. I know that.
Yeah.
I didn't really like the Strokes either.
Okay, well, fair enough.
But he's like, I hope I don't want to tell his story. I hope I'm not
Well,
telling
he doesn't have time to tell his story anyway.
Okay, 'cause he's
we started
friends with-
talking surf, and then this podcast was just over.
He's
Yeah.
friends
You
with,
know?
what's the band he's friends with out of?
Corn.
Korn. And I worked with Korn.
Doing what?
I was on a TV show. And so I was writing on a TV show. And so
Oh,
I knew
shit.
I knew Fieldy from that. And that's how kind of Craig and
No
I kind of
kidding.
bonded over the white
corn
strip.
connection.
The corn connection. By the way, if you were to ask Fieldy about Murray, he'd be like, "Who?" So we're not.
It doesn't matter.
I'm not spending Christmas with corn.
Fieldy's not on the podcast.
Okay,
This is
okay.
your time to
All
shine.
right, then fucking Fieldy and I
Yeah.
are like that, man. Play
Right.
bass together all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Is it looking good, Aaron, or should we just call it a day?
We're at an hour. We can.
Okay. Anybody want to plug anything? Websites? Do websites even count for shit anymore? I hope not. Mine looks like shit. Twitter, Instagram, anything like that?
You want to go first, Lock?
At Lockjaw, LACHJW, and shows on there. I got Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok on there.
This dude's touring with Nate Bargatze.
Oh, yeah, with
I
Nate.
looked it up.
Yeah.
When did that start?
Maybe like last year.
Well, good for you, man.
Thanks, man. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He's really great. I'm going to go open for him in North Dakota.
Beautiful. I've never been.
I've never been
I've been in
either.
North Dakota, not South Dakota. It's my
He's-
only state I haven't been to.
He's just prolific. He's nonstop like working. He's so inspiring in that sense. It's just he just never stops.
And
man.
guess what? He tells his wife, "Yeah, you read the notebooks if you like. It's fine with me. I'm
Yeah,
not
'cause
saying
it's about
anything
potatoes.
Crazy."
he's
What?
yeah, he's working stuff out in front of 20,000 people. It's
That's crazy,
Yeah.
man. He's got the skills, though.
Weren't you guys both Tosh openers?
Yeah,
both
we were all
open with Tosh.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
He's awesome.
Another guy that writes a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the worst set of my life behind Tosh.
Well, you're gonna, you know.
Well-
There's a reason why we open for him
You did it
and don't
backwards.
close for him.
That's
I can see how that. Yeah, I can see how that works now.
You want to plug anything, Murray?
MurrayValeriano.com is the website. I'm kind of in town for the next 6 months while
You
my
and me
wife's
both.
working. So
Yeah.
I do Rock Solid podcast. I'm on. I got a music and comedy game show that's on YouTube.
Nice.
I'm doing it live. Been doing it live at the Improv, so I'll be doing
I'm all
it live
surprised
again.
I've done it.
You've done
Really?
it.
You
I know,
have?
yeah, you're on it. You're on it. Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the Full Charge Power Hour, and thanks to my guests, and we're out of here. Later.